Hey guys, how's it going? Hope everything's going well. Well, it's now February 15th, almost 5 after 12. Getting this one in late. Uh, wanted to have this up sooner. Like I said, my situation will be changing. I'll be able to start posting more frequently and earlier and everything like that. But a lot of stuff to get into. Obviously, we have Elimination Chamber coming up this Saturday. Um, a lot of interesting things as usual, a lot of news to talk about, as we're on the road to WrestleMania, which I'm sure a lot of you are pumped up for. You know, I'm going to get into the matches and to my predictions who I think is going to win. And obviously, we have to start with um, the WWE Universal Championship picture. You know, it might be a surprise to some that Roman's defending. I will certainly say that I am surprised as well. I really thought he was going to sit this one out. But, things change in just the way the whole storyline has gone um, with Sami Zayn, the whole bloodline thing. How could you not do something with it? And I think WWE is concerned, and there was concern. I shouldn't say I think. They were concerned because if you read some of the reports after Heyman and Cody did that promo, it was really to try to make it personal to the point where Sami Zayn doesn't overshadow. They are definitely trying not to have a repeat of the Daniel Bryan situation back in, I believe it was 2014 at WrestleMania 30. They hijacked the show. It was yes, 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 this. And, it forced McMahon at the time to change plans. And, for those of you who are not familiar, who may be, um, I can't think of the term. It's on my head, but somebody who let's say casual fan, and you don't really know the history of the things. Just kind of watch it here and there. Back in 2014, Daniel Bryan, was becoming very popular. Was popular. 2013 and 2014 was becoming huge, and at the time, Batista returned, and the plan was to give Batista what he wanted. He wanted to have another championship run, and he came back. He won the Royal Rumble. People were very happy about it. They wanted Daniel Bryan, and Batista went on to win the Royal Rumble that year. And um, I believe the champion at the time was Randy Orton, and it was going to be Randy Orton and Batista. And to be quite honest, nobody wanted to see that match. And McMahon was forced to listen to the fans, and it became a storyline of getting Daniel Bryan into the championship match at WrestleMania 30, and he had to face Triple H first. So I believe it was the first match of the night. I believe it was Triple H versus Daniel Bryan. If Daniel Bryan won the match, he would be inserted into the championship, be a triple threat. And that's what happened, and he became the champion. And it was because it really was this organic groundswell of support for Daniel Bryan. And the same thing happened with CM Punk. They were hijacking the shows for CM Punk, and they finally had to give him his just due. And I'll say to a smaller degree, Kofi Kingston. Just a couple of years ago with Kofi Kingston. And it was actually right around this time. They were doing a gauntlet match, and out of all people, it was Daniel Bryan who injured Mustafa Ali because it was Mustafa who was supposed to get that push and go into the Elimination Chamber. But I think his eye socket got broken or something when Daniel Bryan did a flip and his knee hit Mustafa Ali in the eye, and it cost Mustafa Ali his spot, and it went to Kofi Kingston. So WWE is definitely trying not to have this happen again, where you're just trying to focus on Cody, trying to focus on Roman, and the crowd is going crazy for, you know, Sami Zayn. And I was talking to a friend of mine about this, just the other, just yesterday actually, and after we saw the promo, and then, Sammy was just on Raw this past Monday, we were texting back and forth, not really talking, texting. And, I said, would it be so terrible if they surprised us and Sammy beat Roman? And it was Cody versus, because I think Cody versus Roman will be a good match, but I think Sammy versus will be a great match. Or even have another triple threat match. And let's surprise us with Sammy winning. But that does throw a wrench into things, because right now you can clearly see that the plan is to have Sammy and Kevin take down the Usos. But again, things can always change, and then that would change the tag title picture, because like you said, you had Kevin Owens, because you can always have Sammy win, and then you can sort of rekindle that feud with Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, where Kevin gets jealous now, and now he wants the title. And you can have Roman saying, "See, look at this! Like, you betrayed me for him, and now look what he did to you, because now that you're holding the gold, now he's betrayed." There's another way you can take this, and the fact that Elimination Chamber is in Montreal, and Sami Zayn's home place, home country, that doesn't automatically mean he's going to win. And for the younger fans who may be listening to this, you know, just I think back in the day, yes, with the exception of one back in the day, but back in the day, yeah, if you were going into a baby face's hometown, there was a good chance that they were going to walk out, winning, unless it was like their last match or something like that. But there was I would say a 90% chance. Excuse me, allergies. You know, in the winter, right? Um, it was either going to be they were going to win the championship, or win a tag title, or win one of the secondary titles, something like that. You figured they were going to win. There were some occasions where they did, maybe they lost by disqualification, not like by a clean pinfall. But back in the day, it happened with the British Bulldog and Shawn Michaels. Of course, famously the Montreal Screwjob. So just because Sammy is going to be facing Roman in Montreal doesn't necessarily mean he's going to win, and most likely he is not. Do I think Triple H is more apt to going with the crowd and changing his feelings? It's like, okay, clearly this is what the fans want. They want Roman versus Sammy instead, because Sammy is so hot right now. Because you can make a case that Sami Zayn is hotter than Cody Rhodes right now. I think you can make a very compelling case for that. That yes, the fans go crazy for Cody. They like to sing a song, the whoa thing, but I think if you really nailed it down, Sammy is hotter right now. And I think Triple H would be more prone to change the course of things, as opposed to Vince. If Vince was still there running creative, guarantee you he would ignore it, and he would have Sammy do something to just make the fans try to shit on him, but instead it would backfire on him, and they would get more support for Sammy. And I'm going to be honest with you, I would love to see Sammy win on Saturday. And the reason I say is because it's a great story. This person, maybe infiltrated is not the right word, but became part of the family. You got close to him and you took him down. Now, what's going to happen with the Usos? Because we saw on SmackDown last week, Paul Heyman said that Roman said for them to stay home. Now, we all know the Usos have had their issues with the DUIs, and usually they're not permitted to travel outside the country into Canada. There could be special exceptions made, there could be deals made, because I believe they did it for them once before. You still have Solo. And I think they will try to work it in where it's Jay who comes and cost Sammy the match, because of the interactions with the two of them. If Jay doesn't work out, you could do it with Solo. Okay? Because Solo necessarily wasn't, I would say, buddy in the bloodline and the storyline with Sammy. He was there, he was cool with him, but at the same time, if my tribal chief tells me to take you out, I'm going to take you out. Whereas you see, it took so long to turn Jay to like him so much, Jay's going to be more hesitant. But if the issues with the DUI and stuff, you can make the special deal to have Jay get into Montreal and be a part of the event. Jay is going to cost Sami the championship. Could the whole bloodline be there? It's possible. I think you might see the return of Kevin Owens. Maybe. You might see the return of Kevin Owens. But either way, I don't see Sami walking out. The way that they might do the swerve, where they decide to change it, is Kevin Owens gets involved and he helps him. Maybe he gives, Roman a stunner and Sami hits the haluva kick and he wins the match. Because I'm telling you, the crowd will explode if that happens. Explode. Especially in Montreal. But I think we all know what's going to happen. Now, with that said, that doesn't mean that they could change the main event at WrestleMania. That doesn't mean they can't do it because it's 2 nights, okay, and most likely that match is going to be on Sunday because if you remember last year, it was Stone Cold and Kevin Owens who closed out Saturday night. So you need a strong match to close out Saturday. As of now, I think that match is going to be Rhea Ripley and Charlotte because it's definitely deserving to do it. I think the story is there, and you have two talented women who can certainly do it, who can certainly be that main event for Saturday. But could you do it where Sami gets another bite at the apple? And it's Roman versus Sami on Saturday, and then the winner faces Cody. So there's still a way you can get Cody. Um, Cody still gets that chance to finish the story. Where now we'll have Cody versus Sami, and then Cody could take the title, and Sami's only champion for one day. That might be a lousy way to do it because of the big deal of ending such a long reign of Roman to just have him be champion just for the night. I mean, yeah, that's sort of a shitty way to do it, but again, that's if they don't feel they have that strong match to keep that strong match to close out Saturday night of WrestleMania. Okay, could they have Roman do a triple threat match where Saturday he faces both Sami and Kevin on Saturday, and then Sunday he'll go on to face Cody, and then you can make the excuse that that's not fair. Paul Heyman, my tribal chief, had to defend his title against 3 men when he was only prepared for one. That's not fair. He had the triple threat match on Saturday, and then he had to face Cody on Sunday. That's not fair. Different ways to go about it, but we'll see. We'll see, how it plays out. But I think we're going to see Roman Reigns retain, and I believe it will be Jay who is in the assist of helping Roman Reigns. I do think we might get an appearance of Kevin Owens, but I think that's only if it's the full bloodline attacking. If Solo is there, if Jimmy and Jay are able to be there, that's how I think that's going. The next big match on that card is the Elimination Chamber match for the United States Championship. And this was something else that I was thinking about, that I was having a discussion with my friend about as well. And I don't think it's just because it's Austin Theory, but they put more emphasis on the United States Championship than they do the Intercontinental Championship. You tell me, when was the last time the Intercontinental Championship was the main event of one of these premium live events where Roman wasn't defending? Because if it wasn't Roman defending, your two biggest matches was the Usos defending against whoever, and whoever the United States Championship ended up having that match, whether that was Seth Rollins, Bobby Lashley, or Theory. When was Gunther? When was Ricochet? When was um, Shinsuke? When they were Intercontinental Champion, when were they main eventing anything? And when did that happen where what was supposed to be your major secondary title and the workhorse championship just dropped to the bottom of the pile? When did that happen? When did you ever see, and if you know this, tell me, when did you see the Intercontinental Championship defended in an Elimination Chamber? Now, in my opinion, Austin Theory is winning this match because he is supposed to be facing John Cena. Now, I don't know if they're going to do that a championship match or it's just going to be a one-on-one match. I have no clue with that. But you want to keep Austin, and I know Jim Ross is always, that's bullshit. But to me, in the storyline realm, you want us to believe that Theory is a real threat to beat Cena. And the best way to do that is to have him win the Elimination Chamber. The best way to me is to have him eliminate everybody. Now, I know that's going to be rough, but he needs to eliminate the majority of the people. Was it four? It's what, 4 pods? So it's 6 men. Okay, and I believe that did they do that with Shayna Baszler a few years ago? That she just ran roughshod. I think she was the last one in, and she just ran roughshod through everybody. I mean, if you really want to make Austin look invincible, that's what he has to do. So either he starts the match and he manages to eliminate everybody, or he eliminates at least 4 of the participants. You know, I think it probably ends with him pinning Seth because Logan Paul is going to cost Seth the match. I believe that's what's going to happen. But it just made me think. I'm just like, when was the last time the Intercontinental Championship was just made, a big deal of? And it hasn't. It's been the United States Championship. And I don't know. Ever since they introduced the United States Championship, I'm trying to think. Did they ever really highlight one more than the other, or it was fairly equal? But now, not now. Definitely not now. But it's Austin Theory versus Seth Rollins versus Johnny Gargano versus Bronson Reed versus Damian Priest versus Montez Ford. Now, I think Austin Theory needs to eliminate Montez, Johnny. He can sneak the pinfall for Bronson Reed and then Seth Rollins. You know, I mean, really, the 2 faces in this match, well 3 faces, is Seth, Johnny, and Montez Ford. And I could see, maybe Johnny Gargano, or Seth eliminating Damian Priest or something like that. I don't see Theory eliminating Priest. I can see him eliminating Bronson Reed because somebody takes out Bronson and he just, crawls over and pins him. But definitely Theory is winning this match. And he has to win this match, and he has to win it in maybe not decisive fashion, but he has to come out looking just like $1,000,000. He has to. If you want us to believe that he can beat Cena. And when he faces Cena, he needs to go over. Because right now, the trajectory they have Theory on, it would not surprise me by the end of the year or going into next year. Maybe main event of WrestleMania might be too strong, but I can certainly see him as somebody winning the 2024 Royal Rumble. I can. If they do this correctly. I killed them about the Money in the Bank cash in, but since then, they have repaired themselves with Austin. And I think you build him up. He beats he beats Cena. I don't know who he could drop the United States title to later on, and then he can go and become champion. Maybe he's the one who kills Cody's story at the end of the year or something to that effect. But I think the way they have Austin Theory now, it's very believable that he could be the Royal Rumble winner for next year. I wholeheartedly believe that, and I like Theory. I think he's good. I do. I like him. The next match is going to be the Elimination Chamber match for the Raw Women's Championship. To get the match at WrestleMania, it's Asuka, Liv Morgan, Nikki Cross, Raquel, Natalia, and Carmella. You know, I think with both, I think with the Raw Women's Championship and the SmackDown Championship, I think they're a little lost. I think now, when we know who Rhea picked, I think that sort of helps. You're going to get some fresh blood in there to be the champion, but I'm glad neither one, Becky or Bailey, won that triple threat match on Monday because we have seen Bianca and Bailey enough. We've seen Bianca and Becky enough. We need something new. I like Bianca Belair, like I said plenty of times, but I believe it will be. I believe WrestleMania will be a year that she's been champion. I think it's time for a change. I think it's time. But again, I go back to the believability of which one of these women can, really make you think, okay, yeah, it's believable that this person beat Bianca Belair. And the two people in that match is to me Asuka and Raquel. I'm sorry, Natalia has just become a joke now. I'm sorry. Carmella, I can't really take seriously. I'm sorry. Liv Morgan, I don't. Her whole reign was just terrible, and how it ended was just terrible. And then Nikki Cross, I mean, you got to help me with that one right now. Could they really thrust Raquel into that match? It's possible. But Asuka's come back. She has the new look. She seems to be edging more towards a heelish way. I can see it being Asuka and Bianca at WrestleMania. I can see it. So I'm going with Asuka to win this match because I think the women's division for Raw is a little lost right now. And I think you're depending on too many familiar faces again, where, we want to see some new people. We want to see some new blood. And you can definitely continue to have Liv Morgan in there, but it's just, her character has been lost since she lost that SmackDown championship. And, maybe Carmella later this year, but I just, and again, I like all of them, but I just think Natalia at this point is just a joke. Nobody believes her to win. Could that be a surprise? Yes, but Natalia, to me, her time has passed, and I think it's ridiculous to have her go over Bianca. Because I think whoever wins this match is walking out of WrestleMania champion. I think we will see at least. Well, no, I believe we're going to see, we're probably going to see almost all the championships change hands. I think you're going to see the tag titles change hands. I think you're going to see the Raw Women's Champion change hands. I think you're going to see the Universal title change hands. I think you're going to see SmackDown change hands. I think the only two people who will keep their titles is going to be Gunther and Austin. I mean, I say that now. Obviously, that can change as we get closer to WrestleMania to see where they're going with it. But you know, if it's anybody else besides Asuka, I don't see them winning. A slim chance for Raquel, but I just don't see it. The mixed tag match with Edge and Beth Phoenix and the Judgment Day. We knew this match was coming. It had to happen. It had to come. You had to put a finishing touch on the storyline, so it's not surprising. Edge and Beth Phoenix are going to win the match, and it's going to be Finn Balor who's going to take the pinfall because again, you want to leave Rhea Ripley looking unstoppable for her to face um, Charlotte Flair. So that's a quick one. And this last one, so now it makes me think: if you're doing Bobby Lashley and Brock Lesnar at this event, what are they doing at WrestleMania? Are you gonna end up doing Brock and Gunther? So then where does Bobby go? You know, I have some, I saw what they're planning on some of the matches that they're gonna do for WrestleMania, but I won't really get into that just yet. I really, excuse me, I really want to see what's gonna happen after this event to get a clearer picture. But the one thing that we know that has to, or I should say, one of the things that has to happen is, as much as the Bloodline storyline has been well written and well done, I apologize for that, the allergies, and plus, I'm trying not to sneeze so I can finish this. As great as the Bloodline storyline has been, and there's been some missed opportunities. Obviously the biggest is The Rock, and I think we all know at this point The Rock is not showing up for WrestleMania. And you can read on the internet, oh, they're probably saving him as a surprise. Listen, maybe for the Royal Rumble you could have saved The Rock as a surprise entrant or something, because the event was really built around the return of Cody. Okay, so yeah, you probably could have just slipped The Rock in there quietly, but you're not doing that for WrestleMania because you're going to capitalize on The Rock. And yeah, right now the Rock stock is down right now. His Black Adam didn't do so hot. Um, you know, it seems like his Hobbs franchise, might be down because Statham went back to Fast and Furious. Um, you know, The Rock is, his stock's down a little bit because I have nothing against The Rock, but I do think sometimes, you know, he lets his ego maybe get a little bit too much ahead of him. Um, I'm not saying he's wrong for having confidence in the Black Adam and all this stuff, but we're hearing these reports that he was sort of getting a big head with this movie, and going behind certain people, going straight to the CEO of DC Comics and stuff like that. So I'm not saying The Rock is getting bad publicity, but he's down a little bit. And, maybe it's not the right time. Maybe he feels, he shouldn't step into the limelight right now because of everything that's going on. I mean, listen, the guy's very busy, he's very successful, but I think if he really wanted to make time for WrestleMania, he would have done it. So it's safe to say that he will not be a part of WrestleMania, and this will probably be, another match added to the list of dream matches that will never happen. Because if it's not happening now, could it happen next year? Yes. But would it be as hot as it would have been right now? Probably not. So we know The Rock's not showing up, you know. But with that said, as great as the storyline of the Bloodline has been, I think we can all agree it's heading towards its end. Um, I mean, if The Rock has said, "Listen, I'll do it next year," could they extend the bloodline another year? That's going to be tough. If you do that, I have to say, and this is what I was getting to my long-winded way. As great as this has been, we have to start dropping some titles. So either the Usos drop both of them to Kevin Owens and Sammy, and then they lose one, either to Ross Method or somebody else. Because right now we need to give these other tag teams something, and either you have the Usos lose one sets of belts, fine, but that grip on the championships has to, be loosened some, because it's a little painful watching all these tag teams and you're not really fighting for anything. You know, um, could you in the situation, if let's say Roman walks out of WrestleMania, could you come with the situation of somehow, they want to split the belts back again, can you figure that out some way where Roman loses the WWE title but keeps the Universal title, and then eventually he loses it? Yeah, you could do that, but I think at least after WrestleMania, we have to start figuring out how we're going to start getting these other belts back out there into the ether because it's needed. SmackDown needs this tag team champ, or you need to have the Usos defend more frequently. Do they defend more frequently than Roman? Yes, but I think you guys know what I'm trying to say. The grip has to start loosening because if you've built them up this long, and if you want to try to extend the bloodline storyline a year, then maybe now the next year, as you're doing now, start putting those cracks in the foundations, and then finally we can start to see a crash a year from now. But it sounds like they want to end the bloodline. It sounds like we're heading into that path. It's just how are we going to do it? But Elimination Chamber is definitely not sounding like a snoozer. Oh, I'm sorry. The Bobby Lashley and Brock Lesnar thing, yes. I'm surprised they're having this match. So what does that mean for them to do at WrestleMania? Who's Brock going to face? Who's Lashley going to face? You know? But, Bobby was definitely showing some heel tendencies on Raw. So are we switching Bobby back to heel now? What are we doing? I can certainly see Bobby winning this. And I would like for Bobby to win this. And the reason why I'm saying Bobby is because I think it's the way to reintroduce the Hurt Business. I think they help Brock win his match. So I'm sorry, Bobby. So I'm going Bobby Lashley. Going Bobby Lashley to win. Going Austin Theory to win. Asuka to win. Judgment Day to win. It's not Judgment Day. Edge and Becky to win. And I know I'm missing a match. Did I say Asuka? I said Asuka. Hold on, let me look it up because I feel like I'm missing a match there. No, I got everybody. Roman to go over, Edge and Beth Phoenix to go over with Finn Balor being pinned. Bobby Lashley to win with the help of the Hurt Business. I think Asuka's gonna win, and I believe Theory's gonna win. Those are my predictions. This will be posted later tomorrow. Let me know what you guys think. We'd love to hear it. Again, as always, thank you for listening. Um, I still want to get your suggestions and questions or anything like that. Um, and I will be back Saturday with the reaction to the event and to see if we can predict a little bit more where we're going with some of these WrestleMania matches. I will just say one of the matches I heard, I'll just say this really quick, but I won't go into detail till later. One of the matches that is seemingly being proposed, well, let's say two matches. Two matches seemingly being proposed is Drew McIntyre versus Sheamus versus Gunther for the Intercontinental title, and Shayna Baszler and Ronda Rousey challenging for the women's tag team titles. I will give my thoughts on that later because I disagree with both. Have a great night. Enjoy Elimination Chamber.